Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Lithium Americas. This was a stock analysis request from one of the followers, and I wanted to let you know that anyone can make these requests and I will most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. Now in the case of this chart, we don't really have a very bullish structure, but we may be in the path to forming one. We may be attempting even at this point to form one, where the main structure that I'm tracking in the bullish scenario to the upside is this idea of a leading diagonal forming where we have the wave 1 through 4 complete, and in that case we must hold the area of support for the wave 4 correction, which we have already maxed out. Yeah, that is the reasoning that it must hold. Now in this wave 3 we had a truncation, we had an overshoot within the wave 4 correction that followed, an ABC pattern in an expanded flat. This is the scenario that we are tracking, and now in the fifth wave we are expecting to form an ABC structure to complete this larger trend, and once that is done we have an initial 5-wave move to the upside, and we can count that as a larger wave 1. We can be looking afterwards for a 3-wave correction in a wave 2, which could actually end up being quite a nice 1-2 setup. But for that we must hold this area of support. So if we actually end up breaking the bottom that we have formed here at the $2 level, we should actually be prepared for quite a bearish scenario, a bearish case on this chart, where we should, honestly, I don't even have a backup bullish scenario. What else I could see if we still end up pushing higher could be something like a WXY pattern to work out, but the probabilities would rather suggest that we should be prepared for new all-time lows, because if we don't manage to form additional highs after this structure, after this movement to the upside, if we don't manage to form direct additional highs, it would be rather likely to me that we should be prepared for new all-time lows. So that is the way I see this chart. That is the way that from an Elliott wave perspective I am tracking it. Now if we actually use some even more traditional methods of patterns, we could also be tracking here a possible head and shoulders pattern that could still be forming, where this would be the left shoulder, the head, and then we could be forming here a right shoulder, where that would actually once again suggest continuation to the downside. It may be even an early sign before breaking actually the 61.8% retracement that this structure will not work out. Now, keep in mind, we are tracking a diagonal pattern to the upside, a leading diagonal, and this fifth wave to the upside is expected to form an ABC structure. So don't be expecting necessarily a very pretty and clear pattern developing in this area anyway, because it is not too likely to actually happen. But one last thing I do want to point out, and that I do want you to watch out for, is this generic area of resistance, because we do also have the possibility of forming, in the bearish scenario, a 1-2 setup here, a bearish 1-2, where honestly we have a 5-wave structure down, we have a 3-wave move up, so there is no reason we should not be watching out for such a pattern, because we have pushed so far into the 61.8% retracement, where we got rejected quite strongly. Now we may still see an extension even within this wave 2, but don't have too high expectations in terms of such a thing occurring, and be careful of a possible third wave coming our way. Now if this really manages to form the fifth wave to the upside, we would end up having once again a larger wave 1, which could be an interesting setup to watch out for. But for that we would ideally hold within this, we have here a likely initial wave A in an ABC pattern. So we would ideally hold this area of support for this continuation to the upside, which is between the $5.6 all the way down to the $2.9 level at the 78.6% retracement. Now if we fall below the 78.6% retracement, it would actually be a pretty bad sign, and it would decrease basically the probabilities of this working out. But once again, for invalidation we do need to break below the $2 level from an Elliott wave perspective. But also I would want you to watch out for a possible 5-wave move forming in this area to the downside. So far so good. We only have 3 waves down, and we may be heading towards the end of these 3 waves. but we need to be prepared for once if we have here a possible 1, 2, and then here a third wave forming. If we find a fourth and a fifth, we should be prepared for an internal 1, 2 setup within the larger wave 3 in orange. But for now, we only have three waves, which is good, and we did find support here temporarily at the 50% retracement. But yeah, for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.